It's Ducky and he's back. This is Ducky's enclosure. Basically, I did not really, there's a glare here from my plant. I didn't really feel like putting on makeup and stuff today, so we're gonna do it this way. There he goes. So this is my bearded dragon's enclosure. I thought I would show his setup in case anyone's kind of curious about what that looks like. So I guess we'll start over here where he is. This is his cool side, and he often kind of does this on that side for whatever reason. He thinks that that's like the magical corner to escape. Yeah, that's his little corner. I just have a little bit of like decorative dried sphagnum moss there for fun. And also a wooden thingy, and that's just kind of like to balance out the aesthetics, I guess, a little bit, hopefully, fingers crossed. And this is, look at this really cool sticker. I got this from Etsy, a gecko and his PJs in Canada. That was really cool. I'll include a link to their website or to their Etsy page. And then also this, which I also got from Etsy, and that was from Natalie Bito's art. I'll include a link to theirs as well. And check out these stickers too. These are also from a gecko and his PJs. Look at this. Is that not the best thing ever? And then this is Ducky's name on his enclosure. Okay, yeah, so we've got here a sort of, not a hammock, but like a bridge kind of thing. And he really likes to chill out on that bridge. Like, he'll often be kind of in the middle after he's done basking. He'll like hang out there, and then that's kind of about where usually he sleeps. And then we've got some Dollarama foliage there. I've got a water dish here. I have a penny in it to help prevent bacterial growth. He doesn't actually ever really drink from it, but I do like having it in there because he does walk through it sometimes, and that can help clean his poop sometimes after he's pooped, and help maybe keep his femoral pores a little bit nicer. And he can drink from it if he wants to. He seems to kind of like going through the water sometimes too. So then of course we got his salad. It's got calcium on it. He hasn't eaten, maybe he's eaten a little bit of it this morning. He'll probably eat some more this afternoon. So for substrate, I actually have these, I don't know, like garden stone tile thingies. They were just in my parents' backyard, so I found them and used them. And I actually really like them because it's really easy to clean the poop off of them. So my enclosure is obviously top opening, not front opening. So it can be hard kind of to like reach in and actually pick up the poop. So if I'm having trouble with that, then I can just take out like the entire rock and then clean the rock and then put it back in. So I kind of like having multiple pieces there. And then at the back, just to fill in some space, I have some actual bricks, which I also found outside, put boiling water on them, etc. And then I've got a couple of fake plants back there, again, just aesthetics. And then this is actually his basking rock. So if you look up at the basking lamp, it's kind of tilted and it goes right onto that rock. So it's the hottest place, and he uses that in the morning usually to warm up. And then he also really likes going on this resin wood piece here. It's kind of like adjacent to the basking spot there, so it's not like the hottest part, but it's still pretty warm. So he likes to hang up there. Are you done like scratching away now, buddy? Huh? And then, okay, so you may be able to see, I got this tank off of Kijiji. It was a great find, and then I like completely smashed a massive hole in it. So that's why I have this foliage up here as well. It actually covers like the cracks that I made in this tank. It's a 1/4-inch glass, so it was like pretty impressive that I managed to crack it, but there you go. Then you will see like, controversial, but I do have a little bit of sand here. Mostly that's just to kind of fill in the area that the rock couldn't cover. I don't feed Ducky in his enclosure, except for dubia roaches in like a bowl. So he's not hunting animals or insects in his enclosure. There's really no way that he could get that substrate in his mouth, except maybe if he like occasionally licked the little tiny area that it's in. I'm not worried about impaction from this little amount of sand here. So I figure it might be kind of nice too for him to have just a little bit of variety underneath his feet, a little bit of something different. So yeah, so that's his enclosure here. It's a 65-gallon tank, so it's actually 4 feet long across, but only about 16 inches or so deep. That's because Ducky is like a little bit small. He's pretty much full grown. Like, he's a year and a half old, so I don't expect him to grow too much more. But he's really not that big, and also he's missing almost half of his tail from when he was a baby. It kind of got eaten off before I got him. So the fact that the enclosure isn't a full sort of 4x2x2 enclosure or vivarium or whatever does not concern me. This is pretty good. He uses the 4 feet length really nicely, kind of going back and forth. Yeah, and then so, yeah, I've got some dubia roaches here, just a few. I might start a colony, who knows. And then, yeah, back here I keep, temperature guns, some vinegar and water and paper towels for cleaning the enclosure, tongs, and then in that little thing back there I keep the hornworms that I feed him. For his lighting, on the warm side, I actually do have a ceramic heat emitter that's pointed kind of around here, and this is the temperature probe that's attached. Oh my gosh, is that his back leg all the way up there? Little acrobat. That's attached to a thermostat, which controls the ceramic heat emitter, so it's not on all the time. It's just, it can come on at night potentially when the basking lights are all off if it gets a little cold, so he won't get too cold at night. And then of course I've got the basking light here. I should say these are like clamp lamps, which is how they're on the side there. So it's like a, I think it might be a Zoom Ed product, I'm not sure. Yeah, and then this is his basking lamp. It's 150 watts because it is pretty far away from the basking site. And again, that's on a clamp lamp. And I obviously DIY'd this lid. He actually didn't have a lid for a while because all of his like decor items I kept like pretty low except for just over here. So I had this bit of screen kind of always to sort of just protect that like one side, and that's just like aluminum window screening. But then we got a cat, so I needed to make sure the cat wasn't getting in his enclosure. So I made this lid out of hardware mesh. I'm just gonna undo the lock here. So you can see it's like zip tied on here, and I used some duct tape to like soften out those edges. And so it just lifts up with these hinges, and then I can reach into almost the entire enclosure. In order for it to get past the lights though, I couldn't have it go on like across the entire top. So that's why I filled in this other side with the aluminum window screening and this side as well. And then I just got some wood and used like little nails and everything. Can you see the nails? I like kind of somewhat glued, somewhat tied, like I don't know, whatever. But that's his UVB light is kind of attached to that little frame, and that fits like nicely underneath the lid there. So I never have to move the UVB light, which is good because that'll help it last significantly longer. And then I can't do that with one hand, but I have this little Exoterra lock just so no mischievous animals can just lift that lid up or anything. And yeah, so I guess that's about it for his enclosure. He seems to like it on most days. Today is a bit of a grumpy day. I think it's because I was not super fast in cleaning up his poop. So I was in there for a little bit, and he kind of just got into this habit of trying to escape from his poop. It's a thing that bearded dragons do because their poop is horrifying and disgusting. So who wouldn't want to get away from it? But yeah, that's my enclosure. That's Ducky's home. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be back next week. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye-bye.